with everyone. Indian fever. You can be part of the fun. You're the winner at every game. That's where the excitement begins. So catch Indian fever. Be a believer with the Cleveland Indians. Indian.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the February 27th, 2019 Lake County Sentinel Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Shirer. We'll be with you for a half hour tonight. We've got quite a packed show. In sports, we'll talk about the Cavs, Monsters, Icebreakers. We'll go over their upcoming schedules. We'll recap the Indians' 2 spring training games today, which went quite well. They defeated the Milwaukee Brewers and they defeated the Seattle Mariners. So, yes, it's exhibition, but that's positive. It's always positive when you can win 2 games in one day, whether it's exhibition or it's a regular season game. Not that the results actually really mean anything, but I think the bats woke up a little bit today, and that was a good thing. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Cavs' upcoming game tomorrow, the Monsters' upcoming game tomorrow, the Icebreakers coming up on Friday. And then we'll also have an interview, 3-minute and 35-second interview with Wickliffe Blue Devils varsity basketball coach, Marc about their game, their victory last night over the Trinity Trojans, and they now advance to the sectional final against Warrensville Heights on Friday night. The game will be played at Maple Heights due to some damage to the Warrensville Heights gym. But that's what we got going there. And then in politics, we'll talk about the Michael Cohen testimony today. We'll give a stock market update, and then we'll talk more a little bit. We'll talk tonight about the Democratic presidential candidates again. We'll just go over that a little bit, and I'll give you my opinion on at this point who I think is a good candidate and who isn't. And there really hasn't been, nobody has declared since Bernie Sanders did. So we're expecting some more declarations soon of some people who will run for president in 2020 and hopefully defeat Donald Trump. But we're in sports right now, and I think what we'll do right now is we will get to the Marc Lewis interview right away. So this is my interview with Blue Devils coach Marc Lewis after their victory last night over the Trinity Trojans. We're here with Wickliffe boys basketball coach Marc Lewis. Wickliffe just defeated Trinity 72-52 to advance in the sectionals to play Warrensville Heights.
Yep.
On Saturday at Warrensville Heights.
It's Friday.
Friday.
Heights. Yep.
Oh,
Friday.
Okay.
Yep.
So, talk about tonight's game. How did you feel about it?
It wasn't, again, one of the things we struggled with all year is the start. We had a slow start once again. You would think by now we would get that under wraps, but we still, I don't know what, we struggled coming out strong. Second quarter, though, we turned it up, which is where we kind of started playing our ball a little bit.
Did you turn it up in the second with defense or better shots?
It was defense. I mean,
they shot 0 for 9.
Right. They were. I think the only time they scored their points was on the free throw line, which means we're winning at that point, because that means that they're not getting the shots they want. We're getting in transition a little bit more, which is exactly what we expect to do. So that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game right there. And again, halftime, same scenario. We came out understanding that, we start the third quarter, we got to start strong. We can't get off to a slow start, let them creep back in. We had a couple games this year where we kind of did that exact same thing, where we came out sluggish in the third, and then we had to work ourselves back into our game again. So again, though, you play up and down like that, gonna have moments like that. We just gotta fight through it. Sometimes our bench gives us that help we need.
Okay, you think it was a good thing too at the end that you were able to get some young guys in at the end of the game.
Yeah. The one thing that's vital about that is not so much the fact that we won that game, but it's more that they get to experience that. That's the one thing, especially one of them's a freshman.
Yeah.
So to get that feel of the game, crowd behind them,
when
the way they were. Exactly. That motivates him going forward, especially next year and going into the sophomore year. He'll remember that. And that's one thing that lasts in the kid's mind. So it's always nice.
I noticed tonight a couple guys that had problems with fouls throughout the year.
Yep.
Did not tonight.
Exactly.
They probably were some of the lower foul totals of the guys on the team.
100%.
Does that make you?
Well, that was kind of purposely done.
Okay.
This time of year is pretty critical. So our key guys getting in foul trouble, that's where, that puts us in a bad situation where we can't recover very well. So they turned it up. They did what they were expected to do, which, you come down to this and you need to, your name gets called, you need to step up. And those guys did that tonight. So
Friday. What are you looking at on Friday?
Friday's rough. Fridays we got their first two guards I believe they have are their strongest players. They're gonna come out fast. We're dealing with bigger, stronger, faster. So when you deal with that, you're in that situation where you got to kind of pick your poison sometimes. I think the way we play will help us. But we gotta focus on shutting someone down. I think if we get one of those guys, those first two guards they have, if we shut one of those down, I think we'll be okay. I think we have an opportunity to win that one.
Okay, thanks a lot. Good luck.
Thank you.
So that was Wickliffe Blue Devils varsity boys basketball coach Marc Lewis. They have a tough game on Friday in the sectional final, without a doubt, against Warrensville Heights, but games are not played on paper. They're played on the court. So you never know what could happen. And I know Warrensville Heights has two 5-star recruits, which is that's pretty good. So you never know. It would be nice for a Lake County team to advance. I believe Mentor will advance for sure. They're looking pretty good right now. So as many teams from Lake County that could advance, it would be nice. The Blue Devils haven't advanced past this point in a long time, and it would be really a nice thing for the program. It's a really good program. Marc Lewis runs a great program. He's a really good guy, and he runs a program the right way, and the results have shown this year. They really have shown. So I think that they will give a good effort on Friday, and we'll see how it turns out. So now let's go over some Indians, the Indians games from today. The Indians, the first game we'll go over, it was in they played Milwaukee in, I believe, Chandler. I think it's where they train. No, American Family Fields of Phoenix. Okay, so that's where they played. And for the Shane Bieber started for the Indians. He pitched 2 innings. Did not give up a hit. He struck out 1. That was that's a nice performance there for Bieber. And then for Milwaukee, Jolie Chastain started for them. He pitched an inning. He didn't give up a run to the Indians. And then old friend Josh Tomlin came in the game and pitched for Milwaukee. He didn't pitch bad. He pitched 2 innings. He gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He struck out 1, and, well, he gave up a home run. But Josh is going to give up home runs, okay? I don't care what any of the people who think they know everything but know nothing say about him. He's going to give up home runs. Milwaukee's a pretty good team. The fact they wanted him kind of shows that the idiots that ripped on him last year really don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it was good to see Josh pitching for the Brewers, and I really hope he makes that team. I think he can really help them on the field and in the clubhouse. And then for the Indians, the second guy to pitch Alex Wilson, he pitched and he gave up a run. It was a home run to one of the Brewers' really good young prospects, Corey Ray. He was their first round draft pick in 2016. So Wilson gave up a home run to him in the third inning. He got tagged with a blown save there. He also struck out a batter. But that was it. The Indians didn't give up a run after that. The bullpen looked good there for the second day in a row. The bullpen looked good in Milwaukee against the Brewers, a pretty good hitting team. And this was a pretty, it looks like they might add a split squad today too. There were some good players in the lineup. It wasn't their best lineup, but the bullpen looked better today. Nick Whitgren, who I was roundly laughed at when I said he was a pretty good reliever when they picked him up. He pitched one scoreless inning today. And then we had Asher Wojciechowski, his second appearance of the spring. He pitched 2 innings, and he picked up the win. He struck out 3 and issued 2 walks, and that's nice to see. And R.C. Orland pitched a scoreless inning and got a hold. He got a hold. And then Jake Paulson also pitched. He pitched the final 2 innings. He only gave up a hit. He walked 1 and he struck out 2. So the bullpen was very solid today. Guys who are fighting for bullpen spots today went 7 innings and gave up 1 run. Okay. Combined, they struck out 6 and they walked 3. You'd probably like to get that walk total down, maybe a little more. They gave up 2 hits in 7 innings. So that's nice to see. On the offensive side for the Indians today, you had home runs by Jake Bauers, a 2-run shot. You had a home run by Marc Mathias. He was a 3rd-round pick of the Indians in 2015 out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. He had a home run. He's the one. He hit the home run off Tomlin. And then the real offense of the day came today from Lee Jin-Chu, who did not even start the game. He came in for Roberto Perez. He was 2 for 2 with 2 home runs, 2 RBI. His slugging percentage on his OPS for the spring now is 3,334. Yeah, that's pretty good. So, but it is spring. So that's good that Lee Jin-Chu is showing some positive sides for the Tribe. That game in Milwaukee, and then we had a game in with the Mariners that took place in Goodyear. Adam Plutko pitched 2 innings. It was his second start of the year. He did not look very good. 5 runs, all earned on 6 hits, 2 strikeouts, and in 2 innings. He allowed a 3-run home run, which pretty much did him in. But then the bullpen came in and pitched 7 innings of shutout baseball. Neil Ramirez, Tyler Olson, Jeffrey Rodriguez, Tanner Tully. A lot of these guys I've seen at Lake County. And Argenis Angula. They pitched 7 shutout innings. They gave up 3 hits, 2 walks, and struck out 7. Very good bullpen performance all around today. The Indians were down 5-0 in the first. They ended up winning the game. They scored 6 in the sixth and 3 in the sixth and 3 in the seventh to win the game. Yu Chang had a double. Oscar Mercado had a triple. And Max Moroff hit a home run with 2 men on. So they scored 12 runs today. They gave up 6 in 2 games. So it was a pretty good day for the Indians down in spring training. So when we come back, we're going to talk about Michael Cohen's testimony today. And, you know, we'll just discuss it. And I found some pretty interesting things he said today during his testimony, warning Republicans about Donald Trump and about them supporting Donald Trump. It's very interesting what he had to say. We'll be right back. Hello, we're back. Second half of the Lake County Sentinel Podcast. I'm your host, Tim Shirer, publisher and editor of the Lake County Sentinel. This will be the news and politics portion of the show. We have quite a bit to talk about tonight. Michael Cohen, Donald Trump's former attorney, who will be reporting to prison very soon. He testified in front of Congress today about Donald Trump, and this time he says he's going to tell the truth. So I don't know, exactly if he is telling the truth about everything. I don't know why he would have any reason to lie at this point. So I think the last time he lied, obviously he did. And, pretty much what he said today was, I think, what a lot of us expected him to say. Of course, I think the Republicans on the committee are showing what kind of rotten human beings they are. Jim Jordan of Ohio is just a despicable man. Okay. He is such a horrible human being. He's a rotten guy. He was an assistant wrestling coach at Ohio State. When he knew sexual abuse was going on, he did nothing about it. He denies it now. Of course he denies it now, because you know what? I don't know why he denies it. Republicans don't seem to think sexual abuse is a bad thing. They don't. They don't have a problem with it. The president that they support wholeheartedly is a sexual abuser. So, of course, Jim Jordan doesn't have any problem with it. Jim Jordan is despicable. Okay? Jim Jordan is a pure scumbag. All right? And I thought that maybe he would get voted out in this last election. It was close, but he did not. He did not. And so he's still there to spew his hate. His hate. Jim Jordan is a hateful human being. He is a hateful person. And I think that everything you hear come out of his mouth is disgusting. He's a rotten guy, okay? He's not a nice man. He's from Troy, Ohio. We're going to tell you where he's from, okay? He's from Troy, Ohio. He went to Capital Law School. After he went to Ohio State, after he knew of sexual abuse when he was at Ohio State and he did nothing about it. Okay, he did nothing about it. And he's just a real scumbag. Okay, I mean, there's not anything really, nothing you can really say about Jim Jordan that's good. Okay, the man is not a nice guy. He's a horrible human being. And I just don't see, I don't know how he got reelected. I have no idea how he got reelected. I guess the people down there are just filthy. They don't care about having a scumbag in office. You know, they don't seem to care. So from what, I don't know. The fact the guy continues to win is unbelievable to me. I think the reason he wins in his district is 65% of the voters are Republican, 34% are Democrat. So he pretty much he's going to win just because the voters down there are Republican, and we know how Republicans are. Republicans would vote for Satan if he was on the ballot as a Republican. We know that at this point. Republicans would absolutely, positively vote for Satan if he was on the ballot at this point. So that's how Jim Jordan, who spewed his hatefulness today at the Michael Cohen hearings, that's how Jim Jordan continues to win, because 2/3 of the voters in his district are Republican. But now, of course, that was part of the gerrymandering. I mean, if you look back at it, I bet you if we look back at the 4th district, before the gerrymandering began, here it is. If we look back at the 4th district before the gerrymandering began, I'll bet you anything we would see that it was very close. But, they set it up so they'll win certain seats. So at least the voters in Ohio were smart enough to stop that, to stop the gerrymandering. But getting to the Michael Cohen testimony today, he he basically said what we knew he was going to say. What he did was he outed Donald Trump for the horrible human being he is. Of course, we all knew that Donald Trump was a horrible human being. Okay, we didn't need Michael Cohen to tell us that he's a horrible human being. All right, we knew he was a horrible human being before Michael Cohen ever got to Congress today to testify. Some of the things that he said today, though, was he definitely spoke to Roger Stone about the WikiLeaks theft of the Hillary Clinton emails to try to get dirt on Hillary Clinton. Cohen, he also talked about that he definitely paid off Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. Definitely paid them off at the orders of Donald Trump. He didn't act alone. He said that he definitely paid them off after he was ordered by Donald Trump to do it. He also said that one of Trump's lawyers, edited his testimony to Congress when he testified in August of 2017. He said that during the campaign, he briefed Ivanka and Donald Trump several times on how discussions were going about getting a Trump Tower in Moscow. He did make it clear, though, that Trump never directly asked him to lie to Congress. Okay. You know, he said that he never sought a presidential pardon. Also, Hope Hicks tried to do damage control and called Cohen when the Access Hollywood tape broke, where Trump talked about how he, you know, what he says to women and how he treats women. And of course, Trump, you know, made it like it was no big deal, and his followers made it like it's no big deal. I want to see if his followers think it's no big deal if someone treats their daughter that way. I want to see how they feel if someone treats their daughter the way Donald Trump's treated women. How would they feel then? How would they feel then? I want to know how any man with daughters could support Donald Trump. I want to know. How do they support this guy and sleep at night? So, you know, he also talked about Alan Weisselberg, who served as the Trump's chief financial officer today, and he has received federal immunity from prosecutors in the Cohen investigation. So what does that tell you? If the guy's got to have immunity, what does it tell you? Cohen also said today that Trump asked him more than 500 times to threaten people. Who knows if that number is correct? Who knows? You know, it might not be exactly correct. Of course, that's where Trump supporters will get you, because it's not exactly correct. But does anyone really believe that this guy worked for Donald Trump and Donald Trump didn't ask him to threaten people? If you really think that this guy worked for Donald Trump for 10 years and Donald Trump never asked him to threaten somebody, you are dumber than a stump. That is Donald Trump's MO for sure. He is nothing but a mobster. All right? He is nothing but a mobster. Also, Cohen pointed to Republican members of Congress and said, your continued support of Donald Trump is going to end like it did for me. Meaning it's not going to end well for them. Because, you know, with them supporting Donald Trump. I mean, they support him. They don't even try to. They don't even try to act like they want to listen to anything that he had to say. They just came out right away and wanted to say that everything he was saying was a lie, and that was it. So I'm sure more of this will come out in the next few days. I think he's got to testify behind closed doors the next couple of days. Stuff will come out from that. We know it will. It always does. We're going to close with the stock market tonight. Stock market closed down today at 25,985.16. It was down 72.82. At this point in Barack Obama's presidency, it was up 4,130.95 for a 34.05% increase. Under Donald Trump, it's been up 6,067.16 for a 23.34% increase. If you have any mind at all, and you are an adult and you can do math percentages, you will know by these numbers, Barack Obama was better for the economy than Donald Trump. I'll leave you with that beautiful comment, and hopefully we'll talk tomorrow. Everybody have a nice night.